Coming up on WUFT Midday, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history could come to an end tonight. What needs to happen for the government to reopen?
Plus, sub-freezing temperatures hit north central Florida again earlier today. More on how long this weather will last and what to expect the rest of this week.
And Trump met with Israeli officials earlier this week and suggested a pardon for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. More on what happened between the two head officials.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
Members of the House are preparing to vote on a bill that would end the longest government shutdown in American history. The bill cleared the Senate, and it would fund the government throughout the end of January. Welcome to WFT Midday. I'm Michael Orlando.
And I'm Marleigh Brown. If it passes, President Trump could sign it into law tonight, reopening the government. Questions remain about how quickly air travel can get back to full capacity and when SNAP recipients will get their full food assistance. NBC's Alice Barr is live in Washington with details.
On what could be the final day of the nation's longest government shutdown, House members are racing back to Washington to cast a critical vote on the Senate-passed short-term funding bill.
Welcome back from your taxpayer-funded 7-week vacation.
Democratic leadership slamming the House Speaker's move to keep members out of session while the shutdown dragged on, as Republicans pin the pain on Democrats.
For 42 days and counting, Democrats have held the country hostage.
House Democrats set to vote against the deal a breakaway group of Senate moderates agreed to, angered that it does nothing to address the central sticking point of lowering health care costs and extending Affordable Care Act tax credits.
Healthcare costs are still poised to double or even triple for some folks practically overnight.
With a newly elected Democrat being sworn in today, House Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. It is expected to pass and secure President Trump's signature.
We're opening up our country. Should have never been closed.
Relief can't come soon enough for the nation's airports, where flight delays and cancellations are growing.
It has to be the shutdown. What else could it be? This has never happened to me before.
The Transportation Secretary warning the situation, driven by staffing shortages, will get much worse if the shutdown stretches into the weekend.
If this doesn't open, you might have airlines that say, we're gonna ground our planes.
A lot on the line in the final push to get the government back in business. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
President Trump sent a letter to Israel's president today asking him to pardon Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a corruption trial. Trump also called for a pardon for Netanyahu during a speech to Israel's parliament last month. Netanyahu is the only sitting prime minister in Israeli history to ever stand trial. He's facing charges of fraud, breach of trust, and accepting bribes. According to Israeli law, a presidential pardon can only happen for Netanyahu if he makes a formal request.
These last 2 days have truly felt like some winter weather. UF forecaster Kennedy Lerner is live in the studio with more on today's chilly conditions and how the rest of the week is shaping up.
Yes, it was super chilly this morning and last night. Gainesville got to 28 degrees. 28 degrees. No, I'm not misspeaking. 28. Crazy. It's just crazy. 30 in Lake City, 39 in Stark. Ocala, 28 too. This is wild. Very wild. This is also record breaking. Our old record was 30 degrees back in 2011, but this morning we reached 28. This is below freezing. If you put a glass outside, it would have froze. Crazy, just crazy weather happening in Gainesville. But do not worry, because right now we're sitting at 66 degrees. It's warmed up a good amount. I'm feeling great. I'm sure you guys are all feeling wonderful. You might need a light jacket, but really not your puffer like last week. And our dew point is 33. Our highs today in the mid to upper 60s, 68 in Gainesville, 67 in Stark. It's feeling like our fall Florida all over again, so we're pretty good. Tonight, if you go outside, you also could catch the northern lights around the evening hours, 10 to 2 a.m. At 5, we can see 65, 9 p.m. 50, 1 a.m. 45. And we're going to have another look after the break.
The GRU Authority Board is meeting for the first time since Gainesville voters decided to give control of the utility back to the city. Commissioners would be in power right now if it weren't for a lawsuit keeping the governor-appointed board in place. Members on the GRU board filed an emergency lawsuit right after the election. Judges with the 1st District Court of Appeals are temporarily keeping it in power while considering the appeal. A constitutional writ has never been used to block the results of an election like this before. Judges gave county commissioners 20 days to respond and gave the GRU board 20 days to respond to that. The GRU authority meets tonight at 5:30.
A new bed and breakfast is coming to Gainesville with a twist. The 135-year-old McCreary House off University Ave is being renovated by new owners. The 4-unit inn is set to open by January. The home was once purchased for $1. It was slated to become a historical site in the late 70s, but renovation costs halted plans.
Leaders of the Briar Patch Farm in Newberry will hold day 2 of their annual Sunflower Festival this weekend. It's named after the sunflowers that grow on the farm. The festival has activities geared towards all ages. Patrons can pick flowers in the patches, feed farm animals, and go on hay rides throughout the pastures. The festival also features live music, food trucks, and local merchandise vendors.
I think it's a great place for someone to enjoy the fresh air and see something that you don't get to see typically. Everyone's in the city and, you know, they're hurrying with the pace of life, but here you could just take a breath and get to see the simpler things. So that's what we love about the farm and getting to share it with people and the flowers.
The festival is held on 2 Saturdays each November. It will run this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
There's more news on a small plane that crashed into Lake Coral Springs, Florida on Monday. Officials say the victims were a ministry founder and his daughter who were flying relief supplies to storm-stricken Jamaica when their plane went down shortly after takeoff. WSBN's Faith Graham has the story.
Investigators busy in Coral Springs Tuesday morning after a small plane crashed in a lake a day earlier while on a relief mission to Jamaica. The 2 people on board, 53-year-old Alexander Worm and his 22-year-old daughter Serena, would not survive.
I looked up and I saw all this debris in the air, it looked like somebody blew up a building.
The devastating chain of events happened shortly after the pair took off from Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport around 10:20 Monday morning. Witnesses watching as the plane began to nosedive.
The next thing we know is it just took a dive and went straight to the ground.
The aircraft crashing behind a home on Northwest 57th Way off Creekside Drive, clipping a palm tree on its way down and leaving a trail of debris in its path.
I heard ew, and then boom.
First responders rushed to the Windsor Bay neighborhood within minutes.
It is submerged. There's a debris field, probably 100 by 100.
Fire Rescue says they initially couldn't find the plane or victims at all.
We have not found an entire plane yet.
Though later, officials confirming 2 lives were lost.
My name is Evangelist Alexander Worm. I'm the founder of Ignite the Fire Cayman Islands.
The father and daughter were carrying relief supplies to Montego Bay for Ignite the Fire. The aircraft, more than just a plane, but a passion project, purchased specifically for the group's missions across the Caribbean.
He really made a difference.
Those who were waiting for Alexander on the ground, speaking to the kind of person he was.
And he gave his life for the people and the nations that were on his heart.
The cause of the crash remains under investigation.
A woman from Port St. Lucie says she feels lucky to be alive after her neighbor held her hostage. Now, authorities say the incident on Monday started when Suzanne Rothermel's neighbor ran into her house. They say that neighbor, Paul Mario, took her phone and then set his own phone on fire. He admitted to Rothermel that he shot and killed 2 other neighbors. After several hours, he let Rothermel and her dog go. Mario later died after shooting himself in the chest.
The Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office says its non-emergency phone lines are down for maintenance temporarily. For non-emergency services, you can dial 352-258-6025. You can still reach the emergency line at 911. GCSO says it will post an update on its Facebook page when the maintenance is done.
And stay tuned after the break because we're going to take another look at our weather and see some cool but not super chilly weather looks.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Yeah, I-75 mile marker 379. It's a great day to be outside, and Paynes Prairie also might be a great place to go outside and take a walk. UF forecaster Kennedy Lerner is live in the studio on this week's forecast and a rare weather event that you'll be seeing tonight. I'm so excited. How are you feeling about this weather coming up?
I am Beyond thrilled. You guys do not understand. Seeing the 60s right now, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. 66 right now. You can take a look at our campus cam. Clear skies on the horizon. It's just wonderful out. Notice our dew point is 33, so that's a little below average. We're usually around the 50, 60, so it's more crisp out. But with that, we can see that our temperature changes have been significant in the past 24 hours. We've increased 17 degrees in Gainesville. So coming out that early morning 28 degrees to now 66. I'm just happy. I can't even hide it. We're happy today. But we are going to want to watch out because we have some elevated fire risks with our low dew point. And you can see that it's dry out. We got this high pressure keeping us dry. We got some dry air coming off the Gulf west to east, so we are really dry up in our upper atmospheres, but we're also really dry on our land too. We have a drought monitor here for you. You can see we're dry in Ocala, more intense as we go up north. Even Swanee Valley, you want to be careful with the extremeness of our dry land. With this, just be careful, be cautious outside if you're going to burn a fire or if you see some brush fires. It shouldn't be too extreme, just something to be cautious about and be aware. Our temperatures are high, 68 in Gainesville, 68 in Lake City. We're at this mid to upper 60s. I'm feeling great. Seeing these 6-7s on the board, nothing can beat this, guys. Nothing can beat this. And going forward, we're not even going to dip into how we were before. 49 in Gainesville, 48 in Lake City. And guys, if you want to sound smart to your friends, here's a little ball knowledge for you. If you go out 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., you can see the aura lights, the northern lights out, and you're going to want to go somewhere with low light pollution. Prains Prairie, like we mentioned before, wonderful. That is great. Go out there, set your phone up, put it to low exposure, sitting up like this, and you can see these pink skies at night. I'm going to do that. I'm so excited. This is like a phenomenon that I need to see and you guys need to see too. Going forward, we're not even going to drop into the 30s, 49 in Gainesville. It's just wonderful out and I'm so excited. And our average is now we're hitting in our fall. 51 is our low, 75 is our high. Tomorrow, we're back into our fall normal. 74 is our high. It's pretty nice out, no rain, sunny. Clouds are going to start building up in the afternoon, but really nothing concerning. It's just going to be nice out, picnic outside. Honestly, just be outside with the kids. It's going to be great. High temperatures tomorrow, 74 in Gainesville, 73 in Stark and Lake City. It's going to be great out. And we're staying in the 70s, so not even hitting those 80s. So very fall-like weather for you, and you're going to want to enjoy it. Our lows tomorrow, 44 in Gainesville, 45 in Ocala. It's really sitting nice, not dipping any lower than that. So honestly, it's just great weather. You can be outside at night, maybe a cool little jacket, but really put your puffers away for now because it's feeling great. And this weekend, we have the Downtown Festival and Art Show that we were talking about earlier in the show, so get excited for that. A little festival planner for you. 10 a.m., 70 degrees, 2 p.m., warm up to 79, and 6 p.m., we're going to drop back down to 68, but you honestly can go at any time of the day. It's going to be perfect out. A lot of time for the kids to be outside. You're going to want to enjoy this weather because you never know what's going to come up. And our 7-day forecast, we're going to take another look after the break. But for right now, notice how we're comfortable in the 70s. We're going to drop a little bit, 47, 51 at nighttime, but nothing like the 29 that we saw last night. And earlier in the week, we're going to see some hotter weather, but we're going to take another look after the break.
With the possibility of the government reopening soon, it may take some time for air travel and SNAP benefits to get back up to speed. In this Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains why it could take a while to return to normal.
Peanut butter. They love their peanut butter.
At this Los Angeles food bank, they've seen a surge in people coming for free food since the government shutdown began on October 1st.
They just don't have the money, and they need it. They need to feed their kids.
Roughly 42 million Americans receive food stamps to help pay for groceries through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP. But because of the shutdown, many November payments were not sent.
It's just not easy at all.
Even when the government opens back up, it's unclear when SNAP recipients like Chantil Manuel will get their benefits. The Department of Agriculture has to send the funds to each state, and the states then have to process it. Furloughed workers may also feel the financial burden for a while. More than 1 million federal employees have gone without pay during the shutdown. Personal finance columnist Jean Chatzky says those workers should contact their mortgage or car lenders if they're worried about missing payments.
Many of these places have skip-a-pay
programs or other forms of relief where they'll actually work with you.
And air travel could still be impacted even after the shutdown ends. The FAA has had to gradually reduce air traffic because airports and air traffic controls across the country don't have enough staff to operate. It's caused mass flight delays and cancellations. But even before the shutdown began, there was a shortage of air traffic controllers.
I used to have about 4 controllers retire a day before the shutdown. I'm now up to 15 to 20 a day are retiring.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns passengers may still see delays and cancellations even after the government opens back up. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Some restaurant chains are having a rough year financially. Cava, Chipotle, and Sweetgreen have all recently reported a drop in sales from younger customers. They say people between 25 and 35 years old aren't eating out as much. Analysts say these consumers are either packing lunches or going to cheaper, quicker restaurants. The government shutdown, student loan debts, and unemployment are all weighing on consumers, they say.
There could be some changes for people who use plastic at the register. Visa and MasterCard have come to terms on a deal with retailers that's set to lower merchant fees. The Wall Street Journal says the agreement would end a 2-decade-old dispute with merchants, which would result in lowering fees that stores pay while giving them more power to deny some credit cards. That may also threaten consumer rewards programs. For example, a store that takes one sort of Visa credit card might not have to take all Visa cards. Although the deal has been announced, it still requires court approval before it can go into effect.
The last ever penny will be minted today in Philadelphia. The penny was made for 238 years, but its cost of production and rising prices has made the painted coin to carry around, pain to carry around. President Trump announced in February the U.S. will stop making the coin. The penny cost nearly 4 cents to make.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Diana Rincón con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Hay un posible final al cierre de gobierno, por eso los representantes llegan a Washington para votar sobre el acuerdo. El Senado aprobó un proyecto de ley para poner fin al cierre de gobierno más largo en la historia de los Estados Unidos y la Cámara de Representantes votará sobre el proyecto tan pronto como hoy, miércoles. Mientras tanto, el gobierno extenderá la financiación hasta el 30 de enero para la mayoría de las agencias. Este cierre ha causado demoras en los viajes y las aerolíneas se preparan para cancelar 6% de los vuelos en los aeropuertos más concurridos si el gobierno no llega a un acuerdo. En Ecuador, las cárceles vuelvan a ser foco de atención. Al menos 31 presos murieron y 34 resultaron heridos tras 2 motines en la prisión de Machala en El Oro. Todo esto ocurre días antes de que se celebra un referéndum propuesto para el presidente Noboa para el 16 de noviembre, en el que se propone, entre otros puntos, la instalación en el país de bases militares estadounidenses con la idea de combatir el narcotráfico. Desde 2011 se registran cerca de 500 muertes en las prisiones. Analistas advierten que las bandas controlan el narcotráfico desde los penales y que la nueva cárcel de máxima seguridad en Santa Elena ha influido en el aumento de la tensión. El ambiente en Tailandia sigue tenso a pocos días de la final de Miss Universe 2025. Todo comenzó cuando Nawat Itzaragrisil, director local de certamen, atacó públicamente a la representante de México, Fátima Bosch. Ahora, medios tailandeses informan que Jorge Figueroa, director de Miss Universe México, fue arrestado tras una denuncia presentada por Nawat. Aunque Figueroa ya fue liberado, el conflicto entre ambas franquicias siguen ascendiendo a la antesala de la gran final. Esas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
I'm Jelianys Ramos with your Midday Sports. Despite the freeze warning, the Gators stayed hot and defeated in-state rival Florida State. In a match that came down to the wire, Todd Golden's team was able to escape the near upset by the Seminoles. A score of 75-76 was just enough to get the win at home. The Gators were led by forward Thomas Hawk with a double-double, 20 points and 13 assists. With a minute left in the game, Urban Klavzar hit a corner 3 to extend the lead to 4, which helped the Gators seal the game. Up next, Gators head to Jacksonville to face Miami Hurricanes on November 16. The Gators women basketball improved to 3-0 after defeating Jacksonville 100-55. Sophomore Liv McGill was named United States Basketball Writers Association, known as USBWA National Player of the Week and SEC Player of the Week after a record-breaking start to the season. It couldn't get any worse for Gators football, but it did. After a devastating loss against Kentucky, the team benched DJ Lagway in search of a spark that was not found. And interim coach Billy Gonzalez shared what the game plan is ahead of Ole Miss.
Explosive on the offensive side. They got a great quarterback. Defensively, they're big up front, and they run extremely well. So going to be a big challenge, but our guys, like I said, we've had a good couple days. We're going to continue to get on the field here in a couple hours and get ready to go.
The Gators look to bounce back after an underwhelming performance against Kentucky as they go on the road to face Ole Miss. A win will erase their current 2-game losing streak. Kickoff is on November 15 at 7 p.m. The Gators volleyball team nears the end of the regular season as they face Texas A&M tonight before the start of the SEC tournament next week. The Gators look to improve their conference record to 9-5. With the SEC tournament starting next week, the team has one goal to at least be in the top 4 teams to get the double bye. Ryan Thai's team is currently in a 2-game losing streak and hope to rally behind the Rowdy Reptiles to get an important win tonight. First serve is at 7 p.m. Before we go, coming up on First at 5, Jordan Banks shares the different UF football players whose dad played here and the legacy they keep. And that's your Midday Sports. I'm Jelianys Ramos.
And let's see what the First at 5 team is working on for you today.
Cold temps have everyone bundled up. Our team went to find out how locals are dealing with the chill. Plus, meet a world-renowned artist inspiring the next generation, why he's choosing to stay in the classroom. And for veterans fighting invisible battles, hope comes on 4 legs, how service dogs are helping heroes heal.
And before we go, let's get one last check on the weather. Kennedy, where can I go to see these northern lights?
Okay, so my plan is gonna go to Paynes Prairie, and so I'm gonna set up my phone and put low exposure, so make sure it's low exposure, and I'm just gonna set it out. And I'm just gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna like get a picnic blanket, sit in the back of my truck, probably like chill, and maybe watch a movie, but also take a look at the sky because that's where it's gonna like pick up on your phone and you can see it later. So if we wanna take one last look at our 7-day forecast, we can see it's gonna be very nice out tonight too, so it's like great weather to be able to sit out and look at those lights. 47 is our low tonight, and then as you can see, Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna warm up into the lower to upper 70s, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's gonna be great with our 80s, a little on the warmer side for our fall-like weather, but honestly some great change.
Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We are back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.